Hi guys, happy Saturday. I am still pretty under the weather and I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to jump right in before we get started. This is your absolute last chance to email me this weekend if you have not received a boo basket yet. I'm just going to leave the intro short and sweet and leave it at that, but please let me know if you have not received a basket yet and you have participated and you've sent yours out. My email is in the description box. If you are participating, you should already have my email. So please get in touch with me by this weekend so that I can send you something if you have not received anything as of today. All right, guys, today we're going to do a quick prayer of protection, invite Charlie back here and ask him tonight about the McCoys. I know the father of Mikey was the pastor, I believe, and I didn't do any sort of research before this reading, which, you know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I know the dad's a pastor. I know Mikey worked closely with Charlie, and I know Mikey, I believe, was traveling with him when he was in Korea and Japan and wherever they were just the week before he was killed. And I know Mikey, I believe, was in the car with him traveling to the university and then was at the event. So, I mean, other than that, I know very little about when and how all of this came together. I have seen quite a few comments, though, suspecting there may be something weird there. I know I mentioned to you guys when I seen Mikey give his speech at the memorial or whatever that big event was, that I didn't initially feel bad vibes from him, and it could just be because he's young and has a baby face and just has a big bright smile and just seemed to love and look up to Charlie so much. And it was hard for me to kind of comprehend that such a young kid that just completely adored Charlie could be aware of anything sinister going on or in the works. But you know, like I tell you guys, I try to keep my own personal feelings out of it. And I just want Spirit and Charlie to kind of show me their true hearts and whether or not they had any knowledge of what was going to happen or any involvement. I do feel like within Charlie's camp, there was a clear split of half good and half bad, people who knew and people who genuinely loved him, cared for him, and would have taken a bullet for him. And then I think there were parasites that introduced and infiltrated his space. And I don't believe they were all bad. If you guys have been around for a while, you know what Spirit has shown us about Erica, and I do believe there is clear signs, at least from what I'm picking up on energetically, that she was, as much as it pains me and I hate to say it, I do feel like she was a parasite of his heart, and that came through very early on and continues to show up over and over and over again, just that there's just something not right there, something darker within her. And you know, of course, this is just my interpretation of the cards in the reading. None of this is fact. Please use your own discernment. You don't have to agree with me. Andrew, I feel from what we've read, there could be some questionable energies there, to say the least, whether or not he was involved or had knowledge of what actually transpired. I do believe there was some form of emotional betrayal there, whether that be with Erica or lust or jealousy, financial, whatever it was. There was something also a little off in that reading I did on Andrew. We've read on Candace, and so far nothing has been shown to me about her having ill intentions for what she's doing, or her loyalties to Charlie have not come into question in the readings I've done, or from communicating with Charlie and the downloads and visions and messages he's given me personally. He really did care for Candace and completely supports what she's doing. And I believe those are who we've read on in terms of like really digging into what Charlie feels about the people around him. So today, like I said, we'll be focusing on the McCoys. Holy Spirit, guardian angels, I ask that you protect me, my space, my home, and my viewers from any low vibrational meddling energies that try to introduce themselves in this space. I ask that you cover us in the white light of protection. Allow me discernment to read the messages appropriately and keep us all safe and wrapped in your love and light. Charlie, you are always welcome here, my friend. Thank you again for joining us. You are welcome to utilize and manipulate the energy within the space to bring your message forth. I ask that you make it as clear and concise as possible so that I can interpret the messages as clearly as I can for you. We are asking you about Mikey and his father and whoever else in the family might be associated with you and your business. And if you could tell us a little bit about their heart, their intentions, that is what we would like to know. Spirit, guide this reading. Thank you, Charlie, for being here. Tell us about the McCoys. What do you want us to know about the McCoys? The Lover's at the bottom. The Vessel is in reverse. And for some weird reason, I never ever read the archetypes in reverse. But in my head, when I was thinking about turning it upright, like I heard very clearly, like, no, don't turn it. So it's very strange. I don't know what the Vessel in reverse. It's going to take my brain a second to try to interpret that. But I will show you guys the imagery upright, and then I'm very clearly hearing that it's supposed to be read this way. Supposed to be, but I don't know. Okay, Charlie, I'm gonna have to figure that out. And then the second card is the Pilgrim, going on a spiritual journey. The Vessel in reverse. If the Vessel contains something, they call your body the vessel. You're no longer in the vessel, you're on a spiritual journey outside of your vessel. Is that what that's saying? Is this Charlie's spiritual journey outside of his vessel? Like since crossing over, or you know, like he's showing us like he's outside of his vessel and he's here in this dark tunnel. And he's sitting here in the dark, knowing he can go towards the light. But again, that energy of being outside of his vessel, sitting in the dark, being close to the light, but not yet choosing to cross over. He's having this spiritual, you know, here's the mountain again. We get the mountain a lot. And then this person above the mountain is upside down also. If you look at it this way, this person's right side up, but then here the mountain's right side up and this person's upside down. So upside down on the mountain, like having a spiritual journey, seeing things from a different perspective, being upside down in the spiritual form, having a spiritual journey, looking at the mountain. This feels really like metaphorical, very like, I don't know why I want to say like speaking in parables. Like there's like a parable here. Is there, I mean, I know there's gotta be like a biblical story possibly tied into that, especially if we're talking about the McCoys who are pastors. Is he trying to reference a spiritual parable, story, message? Very interesting, Charlie. Way to make my brain work right off the bat. Let's see. And I'm sorry, guys, that I sound like crap and I'm going to be sniffling. I know some people are going to be turned off by that. I just want to utilize every little pocket of time I have to get these videos out for you guys, even though I still feel awful. The body, the container, the cup. Okay, so in reverse, or what it says in the vessel, when in light, it says strong, stable, and graceful. But when in the dark, which I would assume would be like in reverse, it says trapped, being in a bubble. Yeah, like trapped on his spiritual journey. And I mean, I truly believe that, guys, with what I'm feeling from him is like, he's not over here in the light yet. Charlie, why? When this card appears, it's time to assess what is being held together and how. Is the vessel too tight, too loose, broken, empty, full, or perhaps there is no vessel at all, and the contents just spill in every direction? It is natural for structures to be formed and eventually fall apart. The vessel has a life cycle that must be honored. It is time for you to build. Is it time for you to build, break, or repair? You must find out. This being in reverse feels like broken. Like it's broken. He's outside of the vessel. The vessel's been broken. It's empty. The structure that was formed eventually had to fall apart. And again, I think a part of this also is his legacy. It's like what he built hasn't yet come down. So like part of him is still here. Like it's almost like energetically or spiritually or something, it all has to come with him. It's so weird. It's so like, that's such a strange message. I wonder how often that happens though, where people build something up and like have this legacy, this huge impact on the world. And then when they pass, this legacy like crumbles with them. And it's almost like their soul is tethered to that energy. Like I wonder if there are other examples like Charlie where after somebody passes, their legacy kind of crumbles. I mean, I'm sure there is. I just would like to find something similar just so my brain can like attach it to something that I can understand to make this more make sense, because I can't stop interpreting it that way. Like the turning point tower has to come down and Charlie's stuck in this in-between on this spiritual journey, and it's like, I don't know. Not quite sure. Let's see. The wanderer, wandering outside of your vessel. Learns, grows, adapts, and studies. Even in the stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of their heart towards what it loves. We all have a deep longing to answer the call, to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? So this, when in the dark, says stuck, trapped. And this says, what are the obstacles? Okay. A longing to be unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the light? Obstacles between you and the light. Getting unstuck. Let's pull a few tea leaves here. Charlie, help us understand more about what you're trying to say. The fox again. Sureness and resourcefulness, especially in business, or literally a fox within his business. Again, we're reading on the McCoys. They are a part of the business. Tell us more. A close friend. Pleasure with a close friend within the business. Let's get one more for the middle. Let's bridge the gap between him being stuck in this darkness before going to the light. Charlie, one. Financial pinch. Lobster. Money, friends, and business. Friends, money, business. Friends, money, and business. The journey to the light. Ooh, I'm pretty sure I just split that on the devil. Yeah, I can see the devil here. Well, doesn't matter, I shoveled it back in, but definitely there. All right, Charlie, I'm going to do one row what was Mikey McCoy's dad's name? I'm gonna Google that just so I can, because I want to read on Mikey and his dad. Okay, so co-chair at TPUS Faith is Rob McCoy. He's also the senior pastor of Godspeak Calvary Chapel of Thousand Oaks, California. And he's the son of a conservative naval officer, father, and a Republican activist mother. So Rob's father was in the Navy, and we know the Navy can be tied to some dark shit, at least back when Rob's dad would have been. Already that gives me not good vibes, but I will try not to let it affect what I want Charlie and Spirit to tell us. We will read Rob first, and then we will go in to read Mikey. Charlie, what do you want us to know about Rob McCoy, his intentions towards you and TPUSA Faith? Okay, that feels like the right 3. Six of Wands, 9 of Swords, with the Queen of Pentacles. Nine of Swords. Fear, anxiety, nightmares, sleepless nights. Oh, that's the 4 of Swords. Why did I read this as the 9 of Swords? Interesting. This is not the 9 of Swords. This is resting, lack of movement. The vessel upside is frozen. The frozen vessel. The fox with business. That's something deceitful about the success. The vessel, the body, and this is like being on ice. This is like dead, but like sleeping, resting, like in an in-between state. Financial pinch with the Queen of Pentacles. Hold on. One of you on here keeps mentioning or asking about like his body being not yet in the ground, being held somewhere, which is really fucking interesting because sometimes I read those comments and I'll tuck them away, but until the energy shows itself, like I don't ever dig into that side of the energy. Just because there's just so many conspiracies and so many different directions we could take it. It's easy to get lost in that. But I make note of it, and if it shows up in the energy, but this is exactly that to me, the vessel, the body, and then this is like an in-between state. This person's like resting, but a lot of times in different variations of decks I have, the 4 of Swords shows somebody like either like in a vampire coffin or like on a block of ice, like their body's frozen to be preserved or something like that. I don't know. I'm just I'm drawing the connection because it's been mentioned a couple times in the comments about his body being somewhere held, not yet in the ground, like the full burial portion hasn't happened. No, I do not believe that Charlie is still alive. I know some of you guys keep asking that. I get a lot of comments about, can you channel somebody who's not dead, or why are you channeling him if he's still alive? Obviously, guys, I don't believe he's still alive if I'm here channeling him. So yes, I believe he's dead. But this is telling me there's something weird about his vessel and being in like an in-between state, maybe on like pause, like the pilgrim, like on a journey somewhere, or his body was taken somewhere where it's being like frozen, or so interesting. I mean, clearly that has nothing to do with Rob McCoy. But here we have the theft card, and then here we have the truth card. The truth about theft. Frozen assets? Somebody's assets get frozen. Frozen assets. Huh. Is there something about freezing the money in TP Faith? Freezing. Charlie, tell me more. Ooh, Page of Cups. That again is the child card. I know this is so weird, guys, but what if... What if Erica did have his vessel, like, frozen for a time, a short amount of time, or something, like if before he was she able to, did they have like sperm frozen, or when this happened, did she make a request for like, I want, if I'm able to get sperm and freeze it before he's buried or before it's not viable or something like that for a child, for this pilgrim, like being in between waiting for his journey back. Because here we see something frozen, and then a seed, and then a child. Okay, but okay. Charlie, tell us about Rob McCoy. Oh, that could also be Rob's son. Here's the strength card again with the... I keep reading it in this situation as forced. This is Mikey. Mikey, Erica, something about frozen. There's success. Freezing. Does Erica freeze the finances going towards... Let's clarify. I'm not quite pulling it through. Clarify Six of Wands. Clarify Six of Wands. Ooh. Six of Swords is here again. Double sixes. The Sun and the Empress. King of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. The Tower. Clarify Four of Swords. What's frozen here? The Wheel of Fortune, the money. There's something about the finances that are frozen. Somebody's freezing something. Sit down if you're going to be up here. Wheel of Fortune for being frozen. Karma, fate, destiny, his vessel. Clarify Queen of Pentacles. Strength card again. Queen of Pentacles is like exercising her strength, or like putting her power to use to freeze something, to stop the funding of something, to look into something, to withhold the money. Because it looks like in relation to the McCoys, there's something about business, friends, money, freezing of money, and like exercising her power to like freeze something, assets, or... But again, we're talking about Rob here. It's like she's doing something, and then look at this person's reaction. Like, what? Like, this person is shocked. She's making a statement, and Rob isn't gonna like a change she's gonna make. I think the Chariot changes again, being in control of something. The Strength card, like, using her power. Oh, moving Mikey, maybe? The Chariot. Interesting. Okay, let me get one more for the Strength card. Clarify the Strength card. Seven of Pentacles. Clarify Seven of Pentacles. The Moon. Guys, I'm not quite sure, but it feels like there's something going on with the financial side of TPU Faith, or TP USA Faith, or whatever the fuck that branch is called, of TP something Faith. Looks like there's something to do with suspending the money, freezing the accounts, or looking closer at something to do with what they're investing in, and possibly a move for Mikey, or a different position, or giving him a new position. But it feels like Rob is going to be shocked at some move that Erica makes in terms of this arm of the business, because here she's performing a dance move. She's doing something on stage, and this lion back here is like shocked. And it has to do with finances, right, Charlie, give me a few more cards. Tell me about the soul of Rob McCoy. Did he have good intentions? Was he a true friend, or did he have ill intentions? Queen of Pentacles is back out here. Queen of Pentacles is right here in the center of reading on Rob McCoy, and here it is again. The Queen of Pentacles. Is this possibly Rob's wife? Five of Pentacles. Some Erica taking money out of TPU Faith? What the frick is this name called? TPUSA Faith. She's taking money back, freezing money, or they're losing money. Again with the Six of Wands and Five of Pentacles. The success, the Five of Pentacles. Poverty and loss of finances. The Queen of Pentacles is taking money from TPUSA Faith. Suspending that arm of the business, but that doesn't seem like something Erica would do. I mean, that seems like something she would like double down on, just based on the way she tries to present herself. Tell me more about Rob McCoy and his intentions towards you as a friend and a business colleague, partner. Strength card again. There's 3 strength cards here. And look at this Queen of Pentacles, who has full control over this lion and taking money from them. She fully controls their money, their donations, the charity, the work that they do, where they're going. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I'm only pulling 5 or 6 cards per deck, and the way that they're repeating already is wild. 3 strength cards, 2 Queen of Pentacles. 5 of Swords is like overpowering somebody. Like, again, using her strength, using her newfound power and her new position to withhold money from the McCoys. Or this could be like lowering their salaries, looking into the money, freezing the money, getting rid of this altogether. There's something here that feels like almost like Erica's being a bully. Like Erica's like overpowering them and their finances in some way. Can I have one more card for Rob McCoy? The High Priestess. But a lot of this is being done behind closed doors, not out in the public. But there's some fight over money, withholding money, freezing money. That's interesting. Okay, let's get into... Let's read Mikey McCoy. Charlie, tell me about Mikey. Tell me about Mikey. I just heard in my head intimidating. Erica's intimidating Rob in some way. She's intimidating him and his finances, or his sense of security, stability. Intimidating. So he's intimidated by her new role. Tell me about Mikey, Charlie. Tell me about Mikey. What can we know about Mikey McCoy? Six of Wands again. Holy shit. That's craziness. Six of Wands, the undead are victorious. It's official. Residents flee for tiny chance of survival, no hope. Government officials say you're on your own. The undead take possession of all major U.S. cities. Six of Wands. We started here with the exact same first card out for Rob McCoy with Six of Wands, and now we have, oh, and in this row now we have 666 with the Queen of Pentacles. So here we had Six of Wands, Six of Swords with the Six of Wands. With the Fox, this talks about business, secretive things going on, and then we have this Queen of Pentacles here with 666. Interesting. Okay. Tell me more about Mikey. Three of Pentacles working together. This would be like mentor apprentice. This would be kind of like I was saying Mikey and Charlie's relationship was. Mentoring Mikey. Temperance. They worked well together. They worked really well together is what I'm hearing. They got in flow together. Like, so far it's telling me good things with Mikey. I feel like Charlie's trying to tell me their workflow was effortless. Like, they got along really well. He was easy to work with, easy to be around is what I'm hearing. Four of Wands. This is a celebration. This is a birthday party. It's also the card for home. A place that feels like home. There's no place like home. He felt like family. Like Mikey would have been invited to the kids' birthday parties. Like this is somebody, yeah, the Lovers. This is Nine of Wands. This is somebody really special to Charlie. And the Nine of Wands is somebody who is wounded. There was a lot of love here. I want to clarify this Nine of Wands. It feels like I'm being told to clarify the Nine of Wands first and work backwards. So Charlie, clarify Nine of Wands. Ten of Cups, Queen of Wands. Here we have the Lovers. Now we're showing the family and the other woman. Or Queen of Wands, family. That's really interesting. So we have a lover situation, a family situation, a woman. Four of Wands is also marriage or the home. Okay. Charlie, clarify the Lovers. Wheel of Fortune. Why is this Nine of Wands again here at the bottom. Yeah, I was going to say, why is this almost feeling like Erica's going to do something to hurt Mikey? Like fire him, move him to a different position, it almost feels like there's something here where Charlie's lover, the Wheel of Fortune, the one who has possession of the fortune, the change in the company, the Queen of Wands, there's a wounding as it relates to Mikey, or Mikey chooses to leave because he's like, I came here to work with Charlie. Like, there's something weird about Mikey being hurt in recent changes, or something either that happens with his dad and they choose to leave together, or he chooses to leave, or Erica like enforces something that doesn't sit right with Mikey. Or I'm also hearing like he might come out and just say God's calling him somewhere else, or like blame it on like a spiritual journey he's having, like, God's, calling me out of the country, or I feel, being led to be moved here, and I love Turning Point and I'll always be a part of this, and I love Charlie, but I'm almost feeling like if that does happen, where he feels like he has to make an announcement that he's called to leave somewhere, it's because of whatever Erica's doing behind the scenes. That's weird. Okay, Charlie, clarify. Four of Wands. Four of Cups. Yeah, uninterested. No, thank you. Something changes and Mikey's no longer interested in being a part of this family, this home. He doesn't take whatever new thing is on offer, whatever changes are being made. He's not interested. Clarify the Temperance. The Lovers. A choice. He has a choice to make. But look at this, has a third person on the outside. That is the other woman. This is showing a family. The Lovers, the Temperance. Eight of Pentacles with work, a decision about work, and a Two of Pentacles juggling, making a tough decision about what he's gonna do as it relates to staying where he's at. Clarify Three of Pentacles, the Death card. Yeah, he's no longer wanting to work here because he was here to work for Charlie. He was here to learn off of Charlie. Charlie was his mentor, his friend. Things aren't the same. He's struggling with the decision to stay or go, but Erica implements changes. There's things going on with TPUSA Faith. There's things going on with his dad. And I think at the end of the day, Mikey will not stick around. Turning Point, I don't feel like for very long. I will get the Six of Wands clarifier, and then I'll ask about how long until Mikey walks away. Clarify. Yeah, and it's like after this death, and Erica taking over everything is so different. I feel like a lot of people are no longer passionate about their work. Clarify Six of Wands. That was the Page of Pentacles, but didn't flip out. Clarify Six of Wands. Page of Wands. We just had the Page of Pentacles. Now we have the Page of Wands. Yeah. He's ready to go on a new adventure. He feels like Mikey's time at Turning Point is up. It was a success. He loved Charlie. He learned everything he could from him. But after the death and the changes that are going on, he's ready to go on this new journey, whether it's spiritually or just grieving, finding himself, whatever it is. I feel like he's making a big change and he's struggling with that change. Can you tell me how long until Mikey plans to leave? Ooh, that came out kind of strange. Page of Cups, but it was over there in reverse. Page of Cups with Page of Wands. So going on a new adventure, finding something new that he loves. Pages are new and young, so this could be very soon. How much longer until Mikey leaves Turning Point? Three of Swords. It's just completely heartbroken. I don't think he could stay. This could be 3 months, 3 years. Absolutely no longer than 3 years. Mikey, if he makes it 3 years, I would be so surprised. This could even be three months. The Star. Let's get one more. It's also card 17. The Empress. So double threes with the 17, so maybe by March. The Page of Cups. The Star, the Empress, and then maybe he uses his wife becoming pregnant as his way to say, you know, he's shifting focus because he's going to be a dad or something like that. Like around the time his wife gets pregnant, you'll see a change in Mikey. Possibly around March or in 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. Is he going to be happy about his change? What is the outcome of him choosing to leave? 10 of Swords with the Emperor. Again, he's only leaving because Charlie's gone and he cannot stand to be there. It's just an everyday reminder of the pain of not having Charlie there anymore. It's like just a constant, like, knife in his side. Like being in that place without Charlie is just constant pain and agony, because here we have the Three of Swords, the Emperor, the death of his friend. It's almost like just that constant reminder. And then the Two of Cups at the bottom, they were really close. They had a really special bond, and this is really destroying Mikey is what it looks like. Oh. And possibly he starts to see things he doesn't want to see about Erica, because here we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is the single, independent, beautiful, wealthy woman running Charlie's show. Seven of Swords, deceit with the Two of Cups. This is, he sees, wow. Look at this, the Two of Cups with betrayal, lies, deceit with this now single, wealthy woman. The betrayal of the Emperor by his Two of Cups. Maybe Mikey finds out more about this and then just cannot stand or stomach to be here 1 second longer because of things he's seeing, hearing, witnessing. He's not going to be here long once he finds out who Erica truly is. Wow, interesting. Okay. All right, Charlie, I'm going to wrap this up here in a minute. Can you give me just a few more last thoughts about Mikey McCoy? Anything else you want to say about Mikey? Temperance again. Their flow. He loved to work with Mikey. They worked so well together. Three of Swords, heartbreak. There's just pure heartbreak and sadness here. On both sides of it. He misses his friend. I feel like he can't stress enough how well they work together, or how good at his job Mikey was. I don't know, that temperance, that flow. Three of Swords, heartbreak. Three of Cups, Five of Cups. He misses their friendship. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I knew I didn't get bad vibes from Mikey. This is the friendship card. And the Five of Cups, sadness. Missing somebody, regret, loss, feeling the loss of the friendship. Three of Swords, Three of Cups, the heartbreak, the loss, the friendship. Oh. I think Mikey was a real one for Charlie, and Mikey's not going to be able to stay. Even if his dad had some shady shit going on, Mikey's not going to be able to stay if he thinks anybody there could have ever hurt Charlie. He'll have to leave. It'll be a constant reminder of what happened, and he's not going to be able to stomach it. So I think if Mikey leaves soon, that's going to be a clear indication that there's something weird going on in TP USA. Final messages about Mikey. Nine of Pentacles. With the Emperor. Yeah, this is feeling like, to me, thank you for helping make me as successful as I was. Thank you for all of the work that you put into me and my business. The Emperor with the Nine of Pentacles, like, thanking him for his part in the success of Charlie's endeavors. Wow. His successes. Bottom of the deck is the Page of Wands, encouraging him to go find his way and not feel bad about leaving. If Mikey does happen to stumble across this and see it, he doesn't want him to feel like he has to stay tied to Charlie's legacy or his businesses. He encourages him to go out and explore the world and find his own place in the world, and he just kind of thanks him for being there and helping him be as successful as he was. All right, let me get a final oracle card. All right, Charlie, final last words. Two cards. I'm going to put these both back. If either of them come out again, you'll know they were meant to be here. We have Enchantment, which we can see the fairies, and Rose Fairy. So again, double cards of fairies, which fairies happen to be a repeating message or symbol within Charlie's energy. I don't know if that's a street name, a last name, a business name, if it means something totally different, but fairies continue to repeat. Final card. Enchantment. Yeah, Enchantment came out again. This one flipped over second, so we're not going to take the Moonstone, but Enchantment flipped out over here again. Like I said, when they flip out and I put them back, most of the time they will flip out again when Spirit wants them here, and clearly that is the card that was supposed to be here. So let's see. Commitment. A fairy walks a path towards us, stopping within a circle of mushrooms. Holding a goblet, she asks if we would like to take a sip of the forest wine. Fairy rings are naturally occurring circles of mushrooms that can be found in the countryside. As the name suggests, they have been long associated with pixies and fairies in many English and Celtic tales. It is said that the rings appear where elves have danced, or that a fairy village lay underground. Many believe that to stand within a fairy ring can bring great enchantment and luck. However, since some advise against this, doing so requires great commitment. If you have drawn this card, then you are being asked to think about how committed you are to something or someone. Are you all in or are you all out? Commitment comes with responsibility and must not be taken lightly. Are you about to sign a contract, enter into a partnership, or are you considering taking a relationship to the next level? If so, make sure that you are aware of what your commitment will entail. While enchantment may very well be the reward, it may be more difficult to step out of the fairy ring than it was to step in. That's interesting. I wonder if that has something to do with Erica. Almost like this energy of like writing new employment contracts or changing the contracts, and it's like now Mikey or both of the McCoys, one or the other, it's feeling more like Mikey is now he's struggling with the decision on whether or not he's going to stay committed to what he signed up for. Like, it was easy to step into this because he was working with Charlie, things were going well, there was a true friendship there, and he did his job well, and he was fully committed to Charlie. But then things are changing, maybe a new contract is presented, a change in titles or salaries or something like that might require a new contract, and then your commitment is being tested. Like, okay, things are changing, here's your guys' new contracts, are you guys in or out? Are you with me or are you not? Are you guys going to continue to fight for Charlie's legacy? Almost like manipulating them to be like, Charlie's gone, are you guys just going to abandon this now that he's not here? But then that commitment is going to come with some sort of uneasy feeling for somebody, possibly Mikey. And I feel like if this is presented where his commitment is being tested or a new contract is being presented after things are changing with Erica specifically, I feel like Mikey might make the decision to step out of the fairy ring. It's going to be a lot more difficult to step out than it was to step in, but I feel like that possibly is on the horizon, at least for one of the McCoys. All right, guys, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I look forward to chatting with you. Thank you guys for being here. Please remember to like the video, drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't, hype the video, share with your friends. I appreciate all the way you guys show support to the channel. I love you guys. I will see you soon. Bye.